the complete story of Albedo. What makes Albedo such a compelling antagonist? What drives his obsession with Ben Tennyson? How does he successfully duplicate the Omnitrix technology and construct his own Ultimatrix on multiple occasions? What special powers does Albedo acquire through his modified Galvan physiology? What is Albedo's ultimate fate? We'll explore all these questions as we examine the comprehensive narrative, chronology, and development of Albedo's character. We'll trace this story chronologically, beginning when Albedo was still an ally and first encountered Ben during his initial 10-year-old adventures. Albedo's tale begins with his position as assistant to Azmuth, the First Thinker. In Omniverse Season 1, Episode 4, Trouble Helix, we discover Malware's backstory and the Galvanic Mechamorph's origins. The episode opens with Azmuth and Albedo conducting research in their laboratory when Max arrives seeking Azmuth's assistance with the malfunctioning Omnitrix. Malware, a corrupted mechamorph, launches an assault on Galvan Prime to find Azmuth. Malware makes his intentions clear. He desires Azmuth's aid to restore his proper functionality. Azmuth explains to the Tennyson family that he inadvertently created Malware and the entire mechamorph race during experimental work on the Galvan planet's moon. This celestial body later became known as Galvan B-Ben, transformed as feedback, engages Malware in combat, but the Omnitrix malfunctions, allowing Malware to flee with an incomplete helix. Malware also captures Albedo, believing he can complete the helix and repair Malware's defects. On Galvan B, Albedo successfully repairs Malware, granting him enhanced special capabilities that make him superior to his species. Ben, Max, Gwen, and Azmuth pursue Malware to Galvan B. Malware absorbs technological components, becoming seemingly invincible. Ben transforms into Diamond Head and encases Malware in crystalline prison, achieving victory. Albedo is also rescued during this confrontation. At this moment, Ben remains unaware that he has just saved one of his most dangerous future adversaries. Albedo's next appearance occurs in Ben 10, Alien Force, Season 2, Episode 3, Good Copy, Bad Copy. In this episode, Forever Knights face attack from a mysterious humongosaur who demands Ben Tennyson's location. Gwen and Kevin locate Ben and discover another Ben exists, actually Albedo, who claims to be the Omnitrix's creator. Albedo demands the Omnitrix's return, declaring it incomplete and hazardous. A confrontation reveals Albedo's true motivations. It becomes clear that Albedo disapproved of Ben's Omnitrix usage and believed him unworthy of wielding it. Consequently, Albedo constructed his own Omnitrix version, but unfortunately, his device became synchronized with Ben's, trapping him in Ben Tennyson's form as his default DNA. Albedo pursued Ben Tennyson to obtain the original Omnitrix, using it to reset his device and return to his original Galvan appearance. During their battle, both Omnitrixes made contact or synchronized, causing Albedo's hair to turn white and his eyes to become red. Azmuth, the Omnitrix's true creator, intervenes and punishes Albedo, imprisoning him in human form. Azmuth also confiscates Albedo's Omnitrix. The episode concludes with Albedo swearing vengeance against Ben, establishing future conflicts for Ben and his team. Albedo returns in Alien Force Season 3, Episode 19, The Final Battle, Part 1. In this episode, Albedo breaks out of prison, returns to Azmuth's laboratory, and steals a device called the Ultimatrix. Albedo attempts using it to revert to his Galvan form, but discovers the Ultimatrix lacks any Galvan aliens. This occurs because the Ultimatrix connects to the recalibrated Omnitrix currently used by Ben, which no longer contains gray matter as an available alien. The foundation is laid for a climactic confrontation, as the stolen Ultimatrix becomes central to the escalating conflict. Azmuth learns that Albedo, his former assistant, has stolen the incomplete Ultimatrix. Albedo intends to acquire Ben's original Omnitrix to reset the Ultimatrix. Recognizing he cannot succeed alone, Albedo chooses to collaborate with Vilgax to defeat Ben and claim the Omnitrix for themselves. On Earth, Albedo captures Gwen and Kevin, using them as leverage to draw Ben into confrontation. Max advises Ben against falling into this trap, but his concern for his friend's safety forces him to face Albedo. Albedo demonstrates the Ultimatrix's incredible power, allowing him to transform not only into Ben's aliens, but also into their ultimate evolutionary forms. As Ultimate Humongosaur, Albedo easily overpowers Ben and forces his surrender of the Omnitrix. Ben gives the Omnitrix to Vilgax, who has partnered with Albedo to conquer Earth and eliminate Ben Tennyson. After obtaining the Omnitrix, Vilgax decides to retain it rather than give it to Albedo so he could transform back to his Galvan form as agreed. Vilgax uses the Omnitrix to command and enhance his bioid army. At this stage, both Albedo and Vilgax possess an Ultimatrix and Omnitrix respectively. The narrative continues in the following episode, The Final Battle, Part 2. This episode serves as Ben 10, Alien Forces finale. After surrendering the Omnitrix to Vilgax to protect his friends, Ben experiences overwhelming guilt. The team, supported by Gwen's magical abilities, confronts Vilgax aboard his vessel. Ben threatens to trigger the Omnitrix's self-destruct via voice command. Vilgax believes Ben won't actually destroy the Omnitrix, but he does. The Omnitrix self-destructs, and the explosion incapacitates Vilgax and permanently deactivates his bioid army. Afterward, Ben obtains the Ultimatrix from Albedo by threatening to cause its self-destruction just as he did with the Omnitrix. Albedo surrenders the Ultimatrix to Ben, who transforms into Ultimate Swampfire to battle Vilgax. During the fight, the spaceship crashes into Earth's ocean. While in the ocean, Vilgax reveals his true monstrous form. Ben escapes by transforming into Jetray. The spaceship explodes, leaving Vilgax's fate uncertain. The team celebrates their victory, but Ben vows to confront Vilgax again should he return. With the Omnitrix's destruction, a new chapter begins for Ben, as he now possesses the more powerful Ultimatrix for future adventures. While Ben battled Vilgax, Albedo managed to safely escape from the spaceship and reach Earth. Subsequently, we see Albedo again in the Ultimate Alien episode, Double or Nothing. In this episode, Ben, Gwen, and Kevin discover a live stage production called Ben10 Live, featuring a Ben lookalike with genuine aliens. They attend the performance and learn the impersonator is actually Albedo, who escaped from Vilgax's ship and needed money and shelter. Albedo attacks the group with a sonic wave grenade, but is eventually defeated by Ben. They uncover Albedo's scheme to detonate a doomsday device, intending to transform everyone into genetic duplicates of Ben. Ben and the team attack Albedo, and during the process, the device activates and transforms Albedo back into his Galvan form. Albedo explains the device wasn't meant to harm anyone, but simply to restore him to his Galvan form. Following the explosion, Albedo gains the capability to transform into any of Ben's aliens without an Ultimatrix, but he cannot maintain his Galvan form permanently due to Ultimatrix interference. Albedo blames this new complication on Ben and attempts attacking him using his Wrath transformation, but quickly gets defeated and knocked unconscious by Echo Echo, ending the episode. At this point, Albedo can transform into other aliens, including his Galvan form temporarily, but he still reverts to Ben's form after some time. Albedo makes another appearance in Ben 10, Ultimate Alien, in an episode titled Night of the Living Nightmare. It is the 29th episode of Ultimate Alien's second season. This episode primarily focuses on an alien species called a Cassiopean Dream Eater. It possesses the ability to trap individuals in nightmares. In this episode, Albedo attempts using a Dream Eater on Ben to try obtaining the Ultimatrix from him. Unfortunately for Albedo, he stumbles and falls while trying to place the Dream Eater on Ben's face, causing it to land on his own face. This traps Albedo in a bizarre nightmare. In the dream, Albedo tries manipulating Ben into surrendering the Ultimatrix, using various characters such as Vilgax, Agregor, Gwen, and Kevin. Eventually, in the nightmare, Ben overpowers Albedo. At this point, Albedo gets arrested and is transported to a plumber's detention facility by Gwen, Kevin, and Ben. The episode concludes with Albedo confronting his fears, surrounded by multiple Ultimatrix aliens in his nightmare. The next time we encounter Albedo is in Ben 10, Omniverse Season 4, Episode 7, The Ultimate Heist. After being detained by the plumbers for some time, Albedo manages to escape and constructs a stabilizer device to help him control his alien transformations. Afterward, he begins impersonating Ben with Kyber's assistance and seeks to obtain a polymorphic crystal for his stabilizer device to achieve ultimate power. Albedo pretends to be Ben and collaborates with Rook and Argit to acquire the crystal from Inspector 13. Eventually, Albedo transforms into Wildvine and restrains Rook, Argit, and others in a betrayal. He battles Inspector 13 and Ben and still manages to retrieve the polymorphic crystal and transforms into Ultimate Humongousaur, Ultimate Echo Echo, and Ultimate Spider Monkey. With Argit's assistance, they defeat Albedo and capture Inspector 13, but Kyber quickly rescues Albedo using his spaceship. While aboard the ship, Albedo is now capable of transforming into his normal Galvan form. The new stabilizer device also grants him the ability to transform into Ultimate Albedo. The episode ends with Kyber and Albedo setting their sights on their next scheme to defeat Ben Tennyson. Following this, Albedo and Kyber collaborate in the Omniverse episode A Fistful of Brains. Ben and Rook pursue Albedo in Undertown, but he escapes into a spaceship. Ben gets lured into the ship and becomes trapped in Kyber's hunting preserve, encountering a wild Slamoid. After transforming into Cannonbolt, he faces a Crabdozer. Ben encounters Kyber and his new Penuncian pet. During a hunting challenge, Ben transforms into Ditto, but Kyber unleashes his Nematrix and creates multiple copies of his pet. Ben splits into various Dittos to escape the Penuncian predators. Ben confronts Kyber's Nematrix aliens. Astrodactyl helps Ben reach Albedo's location, and they fight. Albedo transforms into Ultimate Albedo and reveals his revenge plan. Ben tries various transformations but fails until feedback helps defeat Albedo. Rook and Max capture Albedo, but Kyber arrives, revealing he has captured Azmuth. The story continues in the next episode, For a Few Brains More. Ultimate, Albedo, and Kyber capture Azmuth and attempt draining his intelligence using the cerebral vortex. The ultimate form of Albedo grants him the ability to control objects with his mind. Ben, Max, and Rook try rescuing Azmuth but are temporarily delayed by Kyber's Penuncians. Ben transforms into Terraspin to save Azmuth, but the cerebral vortex activates, causing Azmuth's intelligence to be transferred into a green orb. Ben manages to escape with Azmuth, but the self-destruct sequence activates, forcing them to abandon the lair. Azmuth's brain communicates with Ben, guiding him on constructing a new cerebral vortex. While Ben's team fights Albedo and Kyber in space, they are joined by Gwen and Kevin. They eventually land on Earth where the battle with Kyber intensifies. During this fight, Albedo escapes. Azmuth helps Ben unlock a new alien that Ben uses to defeat Kyber. Afterward, Ben and his team search for Albedo. They locate him and discover he plans using his new powers to recreate the universe into a perfect universe according to his own standards. Ben uses this against him to defeat Albedo. Azmuth's brain is returned to him, causing Azmuth to regain his immense intelligence. In the end, Azmuth modifies Albedo's Ultimatrix, transforming him into a 10-year-old Ben clone as part of his punishment. Next, we see Albedo in a two-part special where the first episode is titled And Then There Were None, and the second episode is titled And Then There Was Ben. In this special, Albedo's role was very limited. He collaborated with Vilgax, Eon, and other alternate versions of Ben from different dimensions and timelines in an attempt to eliminate Ben Prime. Unfortunately, for Albedo and his allies, they were defeated by the alliance of the good Bens. Afterward, every evil version of Ben, including Albedo, were returned to their original dimensions and timelines. Albedo makes his final appearance in the Omniverse episode, Malgax Attacks. Ben becomes frustrated with Skurd, the slime biot residing on the Omnitrix, and seeks help from Azmuth to remove him. Meanwhile, Vilgax and Albedo steal Malware's remains from the Galvan Historical Museum. Azmuth successfully removes Skurd, but Vilgax and Albedo launch an assault on Galvan Prime with Vilgax now wearing malware-powered battle armor. Ben, Max, and Azmuth unite to face the villains and attack drones. Azmuth disables Albedo's Ultimatrix, but Vilgax proves to be a formidable opponent for Ben. However, with Skurd's help, Ben gains the advantage by gaining the ability to use multiple alien powers simultaneously and defeats Vilgax. Vilgax's ship begins to melt down, and he ends up exploding with it after being transformed into a giant rock formation. In the end, Albedo is arrested and is left to clean up the destruction he caused, and Vilgax is severely injured and petrified. Malware's remains begin to seep out of Vilgax's petrified body, setting up potential trouble for the future. This final episode brings Albedo's story full circle. Albedo's journey began on planet Galvan and ends there, with Malware serving as the antagonist both at the beginning and the conclusion.